Today, we're talking about photography, and more specifically, black on black on black product photography. So, let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Aero Vlogs. If you don't know me, my name is Caleb, and I am a young filmmaker and photographer. So if you're new here, maybe consider subscribing. Anyways, let's jump into the photography. Alright, so all these products are just random products I found around the house. I have a knife, a wallet, I have a camera, I have all these different products, and we're just going to be taking photos of them and do a little behind the scenes of how I'm taking these photos. And I'll show you some tricks and tips along the way, so let's go. Alright, so first let's talk about what you need. This is pretty basic, but you're gonna need some sort of black backdrop. I'd say go for either paper or foam core or something. Realistically, this is just gonna be easier to take care of than really anything else. It's super thin and cheap. You can get it for like $1 at Michael's. You can get it in green, white, black, all these other colors. Just look at your local craft shop and you'll be able to find something like this. I got white and black, so we can do both, but we're just talking about blackout photography, so we're just going to be using the black for today. The next main thing you need is some sort of lighting. We're just using a cheap like $50, $40 softbox. Obviously, you don't even need to use this. You could just grab a lamp and then put like a trash bag over it so that it has some diffusion, and that will work. But I'm just using this because it's got a stand and everything. And I'll link as many of these products I remember in the link in the description. And the next thing, obviously, is your camera. You can use really any camera you have. This is a Canon 60D, but I used my Canon M50 for this, and I could use a phone for this, whatever works for you and whatever you have. And we just have this propped up on a tripod, and we have it like this so that I can go into a complete downward facing shot. So let me get that set up real quick. All right, now as you can see, we have the camera angled downward. We are just using a kit lens to make it as cheap as possible. So, and we have the softbox pointed directly down onto the paper. So now we are basically ready to go. This is how our scene is looking right now. So I can move my hand around here and move it around, and boom, that's basically all we have to do. So let's get the products and start taking the photos. All right, the first product we have is a wallet. This is a cheap Buxton wallet, but it's black, and that's the main point. So this is where the first tip arrives, and that is raising your products. As you can see right now, the product is actually raised up, and literally all we're using is chapstick. Not even joking, that is literally Burt's Bees chapstick just sitting directly under this, and that's it. It's super simple, but it is a huge game changer for the way your photo looks. So all you gotta do is set up your frame. So right about there is where we're gonna go. Just place it directly onto the chapstick, and it'll raise it up, and it makes a almost levitating type look to your product, which adds a extremely professional look to your photos, and really just adds more depth and more shadows to your photo. So let's just snap these photos, and I'll show you the before and after with the raising and without it. It still looks cool, but there is a big difference, so make sure you are using something to raise your product up. Alright, next product is the knife. This is like my favorite thing to take photos of because they just look so cool. So let's just get basically the same thing, chapstick, and we will snap these photos. Alright, so that's it for the photos. That's pretty much it. We're going to hop onto the computer in just a sec and look at all the photos. So let's go. So we finished up taking all the photos. So we're just going to take a look at these photos and I'm going to go over them with you and just kind of give you a feel for what I'll do to them and edit them. So let's just take a look at these. Alright, here's the first one. This one is of my camera. This is the Canon M50. I might actually switch this to the thumbnail because I actually really like it. And honestly, this is what's great about using a black backdrop and using black products. You don't really have to edit much of anything. I mean, sure, you could add a ton of different layers, but since there's not really very many colors to play with, it just looks good right out of the camera. So really, any camera that you take this with, it'll look pretty good. So that's what's really cool about this. All these photos that I'm looking at right now look great. They all look really cool. It's great. So let's just take a look at the first product, which is the wallet. Alright, right off the bat, you can see it's actually really interesting the difference between with the product raised, specifically right now is the wallet, and with it not raised. You can see the difference right there. Like, just take a look at that right there. Just from this to that. Like, just that subtle difference. It may not seem like it's that subtle, or it may seem really subtle, depending on how you look at it, but it really pops it off the background a little bit, and even makes the background a little bit blurry. And I was just using a kit lens, so I actually got a little bit of background blur, so it kind of isolates the subject even more. And obviously you got those shadows under there, which actually adds more depth and looks really cool. And so I really like the way this photo turned out. I will show you the before and after with the edit, and so here's without the edit, and here is with the edit. I think they both look great, but obviously you don't really have to do much editing, again, when you're doing black on black photography. But yeah, let's move on to the next product. Alright, so right here we got the knife. This is the probably gonna be the thumbnail of this video. I love taking pictures of knives. I love looking at photos of knives. It looks so good. I'm not gonna probably edit this at all. I might do some minor tweaks. So if I do, I'll show you the before and after right here. I mean, just look at that right there. So there's with it raised up, and there's with it laying flat. But I still really like it raised. I really like that look of that shadow, and it almost just looks like it's levitating, and that's what's really cool. So I don't need to say much about this. It looks really great. And then here's the next thing. This is just of the camera. Again, it looks cool. It's pretty basic, but it looks cool. And then one other thing is this B2 Bomber pencil sharpener. It's actually really cool. And then here's this other one. This is such a interesting photo because of the way that this specific little pencil sharpener looks. It looks so like rustic and coppery, and so I'm gonna do an edit with this, and you can see the before and after, and it really brings out that rich tone of the actual like metal that it's built out of. So I really like how that photo turned out. And then one of these other photos, this is of a yo-yo, and again with it, you know, with that floating effect. And then I don't think I did a before and after, so they're both floating. But again, it's a super interesting effect, and it's a super cool way to really make your photography stand out and look more interesting for only $1. So it's really cool that just with a quick trip to your local craft shop, you can get some really interesting photos. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos about photography, then make sure to leave a like on today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.